Welcome back to DC Silver Age Storytime, and today's story comes from Action Comics number 299, published in April 1963, with story by Leo Dorfman and art by Jim Mooney. Great Krypton! This orphan child looks like Superbaby when he landed on Earth, and that couple asking to adopt him looks like Ma and Pa Kent, but the Kents died years ago, and Superman is an adult. Wee, me fly you like real airplane. Featuring Supergirl and the Fantastic Secret of Superbaby 2. Daddy, Mommy, look, me break box. Very good, Clark. You're learning to use your flying ability and super strength correctly. Great Krypton. It's Ma and Pa Kent. They're raising a super baby all over again. But that's impossible. The Kents died many years ago, and Superman is a grown adult. I must be seeing things. Supergirl has had some incredible adventures in her trips to the far corners of the universe, but in this story, the Girl of Steel is witness to one of the most hair-raising experiences of her career. For out of nowhere comes a second super baby, a tot, who seems destined to repeat the career of the mighty Superman. Where does he come from? This super lad. What strange fate has brought him to Earth? Supergirl must use all her ingenuity to solve the puzzle of the fantastic secret of Superbaby 2. So Superman, at his Fortress of Solitude, decides to shrink down Supergirl and let her report on what happened to Les Lallar, who was disintegrated. Greetings, Kandorians. I'm here to report on the fate of Les Lallar, one of your criminals who escaped from this bottle and tried to conquer Earth. Welcome, Supergirl. We were watching on our monitors and we were expecting you. So she goes through what happened to Les Lallar, and then we see the Supergirl emergency squad in a parade. And apparently they are producing a movie about Superman. The actors are competing for the roles of Jor-El and Lara in a Memento movie we're making about Superman's early life. According to this program, all contestants will speak in English, which they master at their first year at school. There's no hope, Lara, or Krypton will explode. The only way to save our baby Kal-El is to launch him into the rocket. These two sound amateurish. They flub their lines and I must eliminate them. So they try to defend their poor acting, but she is not going to change her mind. So she leaves, goes back to the Fortress of Solitude, and Superman has created some life-size statues, wax statues of Ma and Pa Kent with Superbaby. Goodbye, Supergirl. I'm off on a mission into the future, and I'm headed back to Midvale, her orphanage. Goodbye, Superman. I'll take care of all the emergencies while you're gone. So she goes back to her orphanage, and they're showing off several alumni orphans who have gone on to respectable careers. One is an astronaut and one is a ballerina. Linda, because of your splendid speech, several couples are adopting children. I was glad to help, especially since you were so kind to me when I was an orphan here. May we ask another favor, Linda? We're overcrowded and short of help. Could you stay on here for a week as a junior matron? You were always good with tots. Of course, I'm sure my folks won't object. So she uses her superpowers to save this kid who fell off a ladder, and then a baby is left on their door. How strange. He's wearing a playsuit just like the one Superboy wore when he was in the Smallville orphanage. And later she notices he's super strong and he's speaking in Kryptonese. And then he's just flying around none of the kids notice. He is invulnerable. Good grief. He knocked over that picnic grill. Those hot coals will scorch him. He's holding that live coal in his hand without injury. Oh, that means he's invulnerable. Yeah, I think he's a Kryptonian. He's saying he likes me and wants to give me the pretty glowing stone. Psst, listen closely, my little one. You mustn't try to fly or you'll frighten the other children. Be good and act just like the others. Me be good boy, Linda. So I guess very quickly he was able to learn English. And now he's reading a book. And the wolf said, open the door and let me in, or I'll huff and puff. And then he blows the door down to the delight of the children. Then she carries him to his crib or his bed and sings him to sleep. There's a bit of soil clinging to the bottom of the basket. My microscopic vision identifies it as a kind of clay found about 3 miles from Midvale. I'll check when I finish my chores. So she goes out and finds the imprint of a small rocket and some tracks. A super tot landing in a rocket and being taken to the orphanage. Gulp, that's just what happened when Superman arrived on Earth as an infant. History is mysteriously repeating itself. I'd better hurry back to the orphanage. I'm glad the child found a home so quickly, Mr. Kent. The final papers will be delivered to you in a few days. We'll raise him like our own son. We plan to call him Clark. Great Krypton! That super orphan is being adopted by a couple called the Kents, and they're naming him Clark. That's exactly what happened to Superman. I must be dreaming. I thought that mischievous imp from the fifth dimension, Mr. Mixyez-Piddlix, had animated those wax models Superman made of the Kents in order to play a trick on me, but I was wrong. So she looks in on them and sees Superbaby. So the Kents clearly know he's super strong, and he's making a snowman. That's it, Clark. Use your super strength to squeeze that snowman into an ice sculpture. Oh, that super tyke is still duplicating Superman's career. His foster parents have discovered he has mighty powers, except in this case they are teaching him to throw snowballs at a bad man who is a snowman dressed as a police officer. Choke, what a twist. Ma and Pa Kent taught Superbaby to use his powers for good, but this couple is teaching this super tot to use his powers for evil. The more I watch these Kents, the more they baffle me. There's something weird going on here, but I can't put my finger on it. The mystery has my head spinning, but I think I know where I might find a clue to help me solve this puzzle. There it is. Choke, the Krypton world that Superman and I built as a memorial to our long-lost home, which was destroyed. It's a perfect replica of Krypton, except that this solar system has a yellow sun. So apparently this happened in Superman number 150. Somehow I don't own that story, even though I have all of the Supergirl omnibus. So this planet is an entire planet of robots meant to duplicate Krypton. And so she's just wandering around. Sees a parade. It's the annual festival in honor of Zor, the famous explorer who discovered the continent of Rabu in the Sea of Flames. That's a replica of the rocket as it landed. She has robots of her parents. Kara, my daughter, farewell. Come again soon. Goodbye. I'll make my next visit longer. I think I discovered something that will help me solve the riddle of that strange new Superbaby. So she goes back, and they're now teaching him to break into safes. Remember, son, if those bad men in uniform try to stop you, you're to throw these little toys at them. I can't believe it. He's teaching the poor kid how to throw hand grenades at live targets. So she grabs up the hand grenade. How dare you teach that innocent babe to be a criminal? You should be jailed for life. Watch out, she's grabbed one of those live grenades. Supergirl, don't look at us like that. You mustn't throw that grenade. You can't kill us. It's against your moral code to kill any living creature. No use pleading for mercy. I've made up my mind. And so she kills him. No, but it is Lyra and Marasan, the actors who she had rejected for flubbing their lines. I thought it might be you two. That's why I used the grenade to expose you. I'm glad she was correct. I knew it couldn't harm Kandorians or Kryptonians. What's this all about? We'll explain when you rejected us in the acting contest, we resolved to prove to you that we really could act. So they decided to put on this whole act. If we can deceive Supergirl with your hoax, she'll have to admit we're great actors. Then she may let us play Jor-El and Lara. And then they get a hold of the child prodigy who apparently... Now, I will admit that in reading the story originally, the child does look weird. And you could see he's got a big head. And so it's not surprising that this is like an adult who is child size. There. This enlarged toy rocket we brought from Kandor makes just the right impression on the soil. We must duplicate every detail of Superbaby's arrival. And so they do the same thing, put the adult baby on in a basket. Every detail was perfect. We even rented a small farm and a car. We tried to confuse you by pretending to teach the new Superbaby to use his powers for mischief. Yet you unmasked us how. So she The two pieces of information she used was she saw them in the cold and they weren't affected by the cold, so she figured they were super beings, and they drove on the left side of the road, which is apparently how they do it in Kandor and also much of the rest of the planet Earth. That couple drove their car on the left side of the street, just the way Kryptonians would, or citizens of Kandor. I think I know who the Kents are. Both of you and this super baby had me fooled completely. I must admit, you're fine actors. I'll tell Kandor to give you the starring roles in the Mento film. Thanks, Supergirl, you're a real sport. And thanks for the lullaby. You've a great voice. Goodbye, my friends. I'll miss that adorable Johnny. He's not that adorable. He was so cute, even if he was secretly laughing at me all the time. The couple playing the part of my parents are magnificent actors. I couldn't agree with you more, Superman. I thought that was a fun story. I liked that one. It was a legitimate mystery, although I kind of suspected that it was the actor and actress, since otherwise, why did they even appear in the story? But I liked that one.